In fairy tradition witchcraft, there is a concept called the Iron Pentacle. It's probably one of the most famous concepts of the tradition. As of late, I've been working with it more and more to try and understand how it can help me and how I can achieve a better witchy experience. I thought I'd share that with you because I figured some of you may want to kind of join me in this and potentially do it with me. I can't share exact details for like how to actually do the running of the Iron Pentacle. Please refer to Storm Fairy Wolf's book, Betwixt and Between. This is where I'm getting a lot of this material from. I say a lot, it's all the material. Hey guys, get more coffee for this. So the Iron Pentacle is a energetic device used to discover 5 points within our lives and within the experiences that we have that can be problematic within living the what's called the black heart of innocence in fairy tradition. And that's essentially the holy grail of fairy trad, of practitioners of this path. They want to achieve that black heart of innocence in order to be ready to get into the fairy realm and deal with all of the shamanic style things that exist within this path. I would like to kind of mention real quick that I am not initiated in any way into fairy, and so a lot of this is just stuff I'm making up based out of this single book. So definitely read more into the book. Do other things, do a lot of research into the Iron Pentacle in order to fully understand it. This is coming definitely from a non-initiate perspective. Thanks! To kind of give you a real quick, brief, rough overview of what the Iron Pentacle is. It's a pentacle drawn over your body, representing 5 points of problematic issues that might be coming up, or things that you already know you're pretty good on, that kind of thing. Storm describes it as, the Iron Pentacle is the soul forge of the fairy practitioner. With it, we expertly craft ourselves into finely honed tools of the craft. Sounds like something I want to do. This is definitely not an exercise, at least the one that I'm going to describe here. That's something that's described in the book. In fact, he just sort of mentions offhandedly that one of the initiates, one of the trainers, one of the teachers, I'm not sure, actually made his students work with the Iron Pentacle for 30 days to ensure that they are properly honing themselves to its power and properly attuning themselves and properly dealing with things as needed. I myself, I would actually argue that it's better to do 36 days. And there's multiple reasons for that. Not least of all because 9 is an exceptionally powerful magical number. And 36 is my favorite number because it is related to 9. And in my head, everything is 9s, and I can make a whole video just on that. But with 36 days, you can focus on each point for a full 7-day week. So all 5 points times 7 is 35, and then have 1 day of contemplation of the circle, of the entire thing in and of itself. And kind of look back and see how it's changed, what you've learned, that sort of thing. So I feel like that's a really good thing. And I've actually been sort of doing it on my own. I'm in the middle of the first week, and I just kind of wanted to share this idea and experience with you. By the time this comes out, I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'll probably be further down the line at this point into actually doing it while kind of you are watching this. So I'm going to see if I can pull up a diagram of the pentacle and kind of throw it up here. If I can't, I'm sorry. So basically the pentacle kind of goes over your whole body as you're imagining it. Up in the very top part, the top of the pentacle in your head is sex. Sex being very important to fairy tradition, not least of all actual sexual experience, but also the fact that they do consider the very act of creation to be a sexual act. Not only that, but everything is a sexual act in the way that my words coming into your head is like injecting myself in can be viewed as in a sexual way. Just saying that out loud made me uncomfortable, which leads me to believe that when I do the sex one, I need some work. So sex is up here, and then traveling down to your right foot, we have pride. Pride isn't necessarily what they're talking about with things like, oh man, I was able to run that, 30-mile marathon. I don't do marathon runnings. I don't know. But let's say somebody was really proud about a marathon they just run. And they told their friend, but the friend is paralyzed and totally that's just kind of a dick move. Let's put it that way. There's a difference between pride and arrogance, which many religions actually conflate together, and that's not fair. So this pride is the pride of going, you know what, man? I'm really happy with how this particular thing turned out. Many times I felt that when watching a video that I've made, for example, going, you know, I'm really happy with this. I think this turned out really well. This is exactly what I wanted. It's quiet, it's internal, it's accepting yourself. It's being proud of who you are. There's things like pagan pride. Hey! There's gay pride, there's black pride, there's all of those different things. People are proud of who they are, and it's in a non-arrogant way. That's the point of pride on this pentacle. And then we go from pride down on the right foot, down up into the left hand, which is self. I'm gonna have to look up what self is because I've kind of forgot. So self is much more like, who are you as a person? Not what is your job, not what clothes do you wear, not all of that kind of stuff, but more like, what do you think? What do you know? Who are you? And then from the left hand of self, we move to the right hand of power. Power, obviously, is another kind of sketchy one. People often think that power corrupts, but it's really just corrupt power corrupts. You have to start with the corruption in order for corruption to continue, right? And so in this particular regard, it's like, what do I know I can do? What am I good at? What can I achieve? I'm sitting here trying to think of things that I feel powerful about because I wanted to give examples, and I instantly went, wait, I don't know. Which means I have work to do there as well. And then from the right hand of power, we move down to the left foot of passion. Passion being just excitement, that drive, that eagerness to get into things. It's our ability to feel things deeply, as Storm says in the book. I think we all know kind of what that means, what that looks like, that sort of, that eagerness, that passion, that drive we feel to complete things. Any kind of creative work is definitely something you'll know, and you'll know this experience. Any kind of love that you feel for another human, that's the same kind of thing. So that is a brief overview of what the pentacle is, how it looks like, and where it kind of fits over your physical body. So every day I do what's called running the Iron Pentacle. And I'm not going to describe that here because you do have to kind of find it in the book. But at the very least, I want to share with you what I do afterwards and how I work with each point on an individual basis and how I'm dealing with that 36 days of Iron Pentacle. I think this is where I'm putting it as a hashtag or something. I don't know. So this first week, I'm starting personally with pride because doing the running the Iron Pentacle, I noticed that pride is my weakest point, and it's definitely the one that I need the most work on. It's actually part of the reason I'm doing these videos. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, is because I want to get myself out there. I want to feel more comfortable with who I am as a witch and who I am as a religious person. I can't deny that truth anymore. I can't deny many other truths about myself. I am bisexual. I have a mental disability in the form of bipolar 2 disorder, as well as massive depressive disorder, major depressive disorder, masochistic depressive disorder. These are all part of who I am and what kind of defines me. And so it's hard for me to feel pride about that. And so that was the first one I really wanted to work on. I was really focused on all the things that I have to be proud of about myself and really give myself a hug and get into it. So days 1 through 7, I'm working on pride and I'm journaling about pride. I'm posting selfies to my Instagram about myself, about pride, because that's something I don't actually normally do. I don't care for mirrors because I don't generally care to look at myself. And I sort of, it's weird that I do a whole video thing, right? I know, it's crazy. So for pride, if you want to kind of join me in this, I'm going to read some of the journal prompts from the Storm Fairy Wolf's book, Betwixt and Between, in order to kind of help you do your own work if you want to kind of join me in this. So if you're working on pride, here's some journaling for you. In which of your own qualities do you take pride? What activities do you particularly enjoy? What about those activities brings you happiness? Where do you feel shame? What part of you has been made to feel small? Awesome. So since we started with pride in the bottom right foot, I'm going to go up next to self and just follow the pentagram along, especially since this is my next weak point in terms of Iron Pentacle work. For self-journaling, ask yourself, who am I? When you release your job, your relationships, your likes, your dislikes, etc., what is left? Also, consider yourself in different social situations in which you have noticed that you behave differently. What triggers or prompts these changes? Do they serve you effectively? And then from self, we move over to the right hand of power. Where in your life do you feel powerful? Where do you feel powerless? What things, great or small, have you been able to accomplish on your own? Even if it's just looking at small accomplishments, allow yourself to contemplate a sense of power that comes from seeing your actions through and causing some form of change, big or small. And then from the right hand of power, we move down to the left foot of passion. The prompts for that are, where is your passion? What excites you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What do you fear? What makes you angry? What makes you sad? What is the root of your apathy? Explore your emotions as you ask yourself what in particular has the power to be louder than the others, and which ones remain quiet or even silent. That's gonna be a powerful one. I'm a little nervous about that one. Kind of all these are really powerful in their own way. Last but not least, we definitely have sex in the mind. What does sex mean to you? How are your sexual relationships? What does your sex life consist of? Are you satisfied? Do you feel connected or disconnected before, during, or after sex? What non-physical sexual acts have you engaged in recently? So during each week, I try to not only just do those journal prompts, but I also try to do something to engage and encourage each point. I mentioned earlier I do my Instagram posts about pride, and I'm going to probably do an Instagram post every day about whatever particular point I'm working on that week, and something related to it. And that way I can kind of keep myself engaged as well as kind of, do stuff on the gram. But there are other things that you can think of. If you think of anything beyond just, these things that I've talked about, absolutely do them. In terms of passion, like if your passion is do art, draw your passion, that kind of thing. If your passion is to make videos like mine is, make a video about passion. Do those sort of things. Get yourself to do something, engage with each point in a way beyond just writing it down. Do something above and beyond to really kind of hone in on it, understand it within yourself. Because once we understand ourselves, we're in a much better place to create magic. We're in a much better place to create what it is inside of ourselves that we want to change. What it is inside of ourselves that make us strong. What it is inside of ourselves that make us who we are. And if you decide to join me, please let me know. Let me know in the comments. Find me on Instagram. Find me on Reddit. Do all of those kind of things, because I'm like all up in that shiz. And if you find any other enjoyment on this, please help me out. Go to my Patreon and chuck me a buck. It'll definitely help me out. I got links down there for everything. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that. Please share this with people if you like it. It was fun. It was actually kind of a cool idea, concept I came up with just to create this, and I thought I would really enjoy sharing it with you guys. And on that note, we cue the music. And never forget, a witch bows to no one, not even the gods. Peace.